Well, it says I have an excellent connection. Let's check it out. Boom. That's me. There's me. There's me again. Hey, everybody. Hello. Good evening. Welcome. It's the top of the hour, wherever you are. Hey, Mike. Good. You guys can hear me? Can you hear me? Tell me you can hear me. Because I've had some audio issues on my end. So, do. Just want to get a little, what do you call it? A little feedback from you. Hi, Jane. You can hear me. Excellent. Wonderful. Terrific. That's all I need to know. Good evening and welcome to Triviamatic Happy Hour. My name is John Chinesky, sitting in for Craig Reed tonight, your regular host, Craig Reed, who is doing whatever people do on a weekend, an Easter weekend. He's probably hiding eggs or finding eggs or rising again or whatever it is he's doing. Good for him. Hopefully he's having a rest. I'm your host tonight. Before we begin, let's get started with the thing you need to know that is the most important thing. Let's see. Yeah, good. The most important thing is you need to get the Triviamatic app on your phone. If you don't already have it, please go to your iPhone store or your Android store and for free, get the free Triviamatic app. Spit take. For a spit take, I need something to spit. Get that app, download it to your phone. If you already have it, you might have a Triviamatic Happy Hour button, in which case you should hit that. Or you might have a button, you might be asked for a code. If you are asked for a code, you want to enter the code 579067, like that, 579067, yeah. Something very interesting happened to me a little while ago. I was taking a shower because, we're having people over, you guys, and as soon as I turned the water off, all of a sudden I heard applause and cheering and people hooting and yelling, and I got to say, it felt pretty good. And then my wife said, that's just the people outside cheering for the healthcare workers. And I said, I can dream. I should close the curtains. I know. Anyway, it was interesting. So yeah, that's what happened to me tonight. And what's going to happen to you tonight is you're going to answer these 33 questions that we have all set up for you. Triviamatic trivia coming up. Let's get started. As I start the game, we're going to begin with history mystery. History mystery. We always begin with history mystery. Things that happened on April 11. This is April 11. Things that happened on April 11 throughout history. 8 questions about historical events of April 11 of years gone by. This is a multiple choice round, so get ready. Here we go. On this day in 1986, what maker of Honey Smacks stopped its 80-year tradition of offering factory tours in order to shut down suspected industrial spying from other cereal companies? Yeah, this is a true story about something that happened on this day. Once again, on this day in 1986, what maker of Honey Smacks stopped its 80-year tradition of offering factory tours in order to shut down suspected industrial spying from other cereal companies? They were suspicious that they were being spied upon by other cereal companies, maybe some of the other companies you see here, which are not the right answer. Who makes Honey Smacks? Coming down to the wire. The quicker you answer, the more points you get. The answer is, of course, Kellogg's. Kellogg's is the answer. Of course, this isn't even the closest to being the weirdest thing about Kellogg's. If you know anything about Kellogg's, look into it. There's more than enough weirdness there for everybody. Check it out. Let's go to your scores. Let's see. There they are. All right. I see a lot of people I recognize right off the bat. Off Disc. That's a new name for someone I recognize, whose picture I recognize. Jane in second with 44. The Bugs. All of the bugs in the world in third place. That's what we'll do for now as we move on to question number 2. Night sweats broke out on this day in 2006 when Mahmoud Ahmadinejad announced successful uranium enrichment in what country? Again, Night sweats broke out on this day in 2006 when Ahmadinejad, it was Craig Reed who said, not Craig Reed, it was Craig Ferguson who said, Ahmadinejad announced successful uranium enrichment in what country? Political and or geography question. Once again, one of those answers. Pick one of those answers before time runs out. The quicker you answer, the more points you get if you are correct. Once again, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad announced successful uranium enrichment in what country? The answer is, of course, Iran. Iran. Ahmadinejad presented it as a way for Iran to be taken seriously on the world stage. And people did. People did. Let's look at your scores there. Your scores right there. A lot of people knew that. Very good. Good work as we move on to question number 3. Number 3. Idi Amin was deposed as dictator of Uganda on this day in 1979, paving the way for what actor to win an Oscar for playing him in The Last King of Scotland? I'll bet that question took a turn. You didn't know which way it was going to go. Turns out it's a movie question. It's a showbiz question. Idi Amin deposed as dictator of Uganda on this day in 1979, paving the way for what actor to win an Oscar for playing him in The Last King of Scotland? Again, it's, what do we call it? Trivia happy hour, Triviamatic happy hour. I've got a nice big drink myself. This is so when I spill it on my computer, it'll be epic. All right, the answer to question number 3 is, of course, Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker. Amin's full title was His Excellency, President for Life, Field Marshal Al-Haji Dr. Idi Amin Dada, VC, DSO, MC, Lord of all the beasts of the earth. And it just keeps going. Let's see what your scores look like. Any movement here? Okay. Thorstein Nielsen. Craig, by the way, doesn't know what the thorn is. I happen to know what the thorn is. He thinks it's a P, but I happen to recognize it. Thorstein Nielsen popping into third place with 108. Let's go to question number 4. Happy birthday to Josh Server, an original cast member of what Nickelodeon sketch show alongside Kenan Thompson and Kel Williams? Here's a hint. It's not Kenan and Kel. How can I tell? How can you tell it's not Kenan and Kel? Because that's not one of the answers you have to choose from. Goldie, be nice. All right, once again, happy birthday, Josh Server, an original cast member of what Nickelodeon sketch show alongside Kenan Thompson and Kel Williams. I'm going to try to do all my tapping with my left hand so I don't inadvertently hit the moving forward button on the last question like I've done so many times. Yeah, I was a Nickelodeon kid. I was a little old to be a Nickelodeon kid, but I did anyway because juvenile. The answer to question 4 is, of course, all that. The answer is all that. Boom. There it is. Server was one of the cast members of the cinematic classic Good Burger. Welcome to Good Burger. Can I take your order? All right, let's look at your scores. Thorstein in the lead. Jumped up there to 150. It's only 5 points between you and the Bugs, though. And Quarren Keith in third place. There's a lot of points to be gotten in this game as we move on to question number 5. In Atlanta, on this day in 1881, what oldest private, historically black liberal arts college for women was founded? Women. Once again, in Atlanta, on this day in 1881, what oldest private, historically black liberal arts college for women was founded? It's one of the 4 you see before you, so pick one of those. As you can see, I took a little note from Craig Reed's book, wore my jacket and tie. I am not here to do your taxes. No, I am here to read trivia to you. There we go. Let's get that button out of there. It's funny because this screen it's not the mirror image, it's the opposite thing. So you know how it works. All right, coming down, tick-tock. Down to the answer. The answer, of course, to question number 5 is Spelman. Spelman College. Boom. Spelman is one of only 2 all-women HBCUs in the country. Bennett is the other. Sometimes we like to toss additional trivia on for you so you know it for next time. Bennett is the answer. If there's only 2 and one is Spelman, the other one's Bennett. Let's go to your scores. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Quarren Keith. Quarren Keith taking the lead with 183. Oh boy, I see other friendly faces I've seen before. Overly K up on the board. Let's go to question number 6. Number 6, the ill-fated Apollo 13 blasted off on this day in 1970, captained by what Buckeye astronaut? A Buckeye, of course, someone from Ohio. Ohio. It's just an additional hint for you there. One of my patented no-help hints, very little help hints, if you happen to know which of these men. Probably more than one of them is from Ohio. Many of the astronauts were from Ohio. Once again, the ill-fated Apollo 13 blasted off on this day in 1970, captained by what Buckeye astronaut? I can't say Buckeye without kind of doing a kind of a Dick Cheney kind of thing. Buckeye. Coming down to the answer to question 6. The captain of Apollo 13, of course, was Jim Lovell. Jim Lovell. Lovell was the first astronaut to make the trip to the moon twice. And there is a picture of him there. You may remember he was played by Tom Hanks in the movie of that same name. Let's look at your scores. All right, Quarren Keith. Quarren Keith, 227, broke the 200 already, off disc, 174. Overly K at 174. Tie, we got a tie for second and a tie for third. Technically, there's the same thing at this point. All right, question number 7 in the history mystery round. Number 7, pentagrams were about to get a lot more popular in 1930 upon the birth of what founder of the Church of Satan? Is it Satan? Once again, number 7 in the history round, pentagrams are about to get a lot more popular in 1930 upon the birth, on this day, April 11, of what founder of the Church of Satan? Tick-tock coming down. Down to the answer to question 7. That answer is Anton LaVey. Anton LaVey was the founder of the Church of Satan. There's a picture of Satan right there, an actual picture of Satan right there. LaVey had a goatee in the 1980s, so it was pretty obvious he had a dark side, definitely. Let's look at your scores. Here we go. All right, Quarren Keith keeping the lead. Off disc, 213. Overly K popped up to third place. But it's still anybody's game as we go to the last question in round number 1. Number 8, in 1957, what sports equipment company established the Gold Glove Award, eventually won 5 times by birthday boy Mark Teixeira? Once again, in 1957, what sports equipment company established the Gold Glove Award, eventually won 5 times by birthday boy Mark Teixeira? One of these. The Gold Glove is also awarded each year to a fast-pitch softball player as well. I'm stealing that from my notes that you're going to see in a little while to give me something to do. Craig's got his, he's got his charm, and I've got, whatever I got. Coming down to the answer for question number 8. Question number 8 answer is Rawlings. It's Rawlings. That's right. And as you can see, there's the Gold Glove right there. Rawlings, again, awards the Gold Glove to a fast-pitch softball player. Let's look at your scores after round one. This is after one round. There are, remember, 4 rounds and an extra question. So let's look at those scores. There they are. Oh, boy. Okay, we've got Off Disc in first place. Quarren Keith in second. Jane popping up into third. Overly K. The Bugs. Mike Atley. Thorstein Nielsen. Sarah. Can't see your whole name, Sarah. It's just a thing of the program. Sarah Mackey. And Sinzaba. Oh, Bumbershoe. Bumbershoe Mugwump. That's a good name. That kind of rounds out the top 10 as we move on to round number 2. Round number 2 is the first of our 2 theme rounds. And this round is called Later Crater. 8 people, personages who have craters on the moon named after them. This, again, a multiple choice round. Here we go. Number 1. Chief Exploration Scientist Michael Wargo helped map out the moon and developed the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter while working for what government organization? Yes, I know. Our questions vary in difficulty. Some of them are easier than others. Maybe this falls on the easy side. You think? Once again, Chief Exploration Scientist Michael Wargo has a crater named after him. Helped map out the moon and develop the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter while working for what government organization? Counting down. This is one of those how fast can you find it on your phone questions. Question 1 in round 2, Later Crater. The answer is, of course, NASA. NASA, not Nassau. That's a different thing. Oh. We got the Golden Glove again. During the heyday of the Apollo program in the 1960s, NASA ate up a whopping 4.4% of the U.S. financial budget. I'm kind of okay with that. Let's look at your scores. All right, Off Disc popping up the top. I think this is going to be quite a fight tonight for the lead. Quarren Keith in second, Jane in third, but the scores are tight. Question number 2. In Later Crater, one of the 12 labors of the mythical hero Hercules was slaying what monster with lots of regenerating heads? Yeah. Slightly harder than the last question, though maybe not the hardest question. One for you mythology fans out there. Come on, Goldie, get in here. Leave that dog alone. All right. Once again, one of the 12 labors of the mythical hero Hercules was slaying what monster with lots of regenerating heads? Can you guys hear the dogs? Those are the people next door. That's their dogs. All right, coming down to the answer to question 2. One of the labors of Hercules was slaying the Hydra. The Hydra. That's like slaying the Hydra was the second of Hercules' 12 labors. The much less exciting 5th one involved cleaning out horse stables. That was pretty much kind of what I was doing today. One of the labors of Chinesky today was cleaning out the kitchen. Let's look at your scores. All right. I think we've got stasis going on here. Everybody knew that. Everybody got it in at about the same time. Let's move on to question number 3. For some reason, there's both a 1988 film and a Sega Genesis game named after what signature dance move of Michael Jackson? Once again, for some reason, there's both a 1988 film and a Sega Genesis game named after what signature dance move of Michael Jackson? There is a crater named for Michael Jackson, yeah. Just a reminder, if you're playing in the same room as other people, and they have the app on their phone, and you have the app on your phone, don't try to look over and see what they're tapping on, because the app randomizes where the answers appear on everybody's screen. So they might be tapping the bottom, and you should be tapping the top. So don't cheat anyway. That's just, what do you call it? Good advice all around. Don't cheat. Okay? Here comes the answer to question number 3 in round 2. The answer is, of course, moonwalk. Moonwalk. Jackson debuted the moonwalk in 1983 during his performance of Billie Jean for a TV retrospective on Motown. Let's look at your scores. Looking at them. Overly knocks Jane down into 4th place. No, they're tied. They're tied for 3rd. Oh, it's dramatic, everyone. I love it. Let's go to question number 4. The title role in the 2000 Karate Kid. Is this a question about aviators? Kinda. Not really. It's more like a Hollywood question. Once again, the title role in the 2009 Amelia Earhart biopic Amelia was played by what Oscar-winning star of $1 Million Baby and The Next Karate Kid? This person won an Oscar for one of those 2 movies. I'm not going to say which. You make the call. Once again. Oh, I got a thing I'm going to show you in a second. Yeah, I know. Craig has his things. I got my things. I got things behind me. Let's look at the answer to question number 4. The title role in that Amelia biopic pilot association called the 99s. So the next time we ask about the 99s, that's what you should know about Amelia Earhart. There you go. And a picture of Hilary Swank. There you go. Let's look at your scores. Off disc. Quarren Keith, overly, moving up a little bit, away from Jane, but only by 3 points. Let's go to question number 5. Possibly the most interesting man who ever lived, astronomer Tycho Brahe. Tycho Brahe's pet and beer drinking buddy was a member of what largest species in the deer family? This is not a question about astronomers. Well, it kind of is. It's not a question about science or the moon. It kind of is. It's really sort of a biology question, a zoology question, if you will. Once again, possibly the most interesting man alive, who ever lived. He's not alive now. Alive many years. Astronomer Tycho Brahe's pet and beer drinking buddy was a member of what largest species in the deer family? Yeah, if you know Tycho Brahe, astronomer Tycho Brahe, you know how very many interesting things there are about him. As we come down to the answer to question 5, the answer is moose. Moose. Brahe also had a nose made of brass, having lost part of the original one in a sword duel with his 3rd cousin. Not off disc, in first, 477. Only 50 points over Overly K. Quarren Keith in 3rd. Thorstein Nielsen primed to break 400 and perhaps take over 3rd place as we go to question number 6. Probably because, Alfred Nobel was born there. Most of the Nobel Prize award ceremonies take place in what Swedish capital? Geography, basically. Geography here. This question, of course, can be boiled down to what is the capital of Sweden? Once again, probably because, Alfred Nobel, who has a crater named after him, was born there. Most of the Nobel Prize award ceremonies take place in what Swedish capital? I see a lot less action in the chat today. That is, of course, yesterday when Craig was hosting, I was doing most of the action in the chat. So, but I'm happy to respond to you right here if you want to know things like, the answer to question number 6 about Alfred Nobel. Most of the Nobel Prize ceremonies take place in Stockholm. Stockholm. The Nobel Peace Prize is the only one not awarded in Stockholm. It's handed out in Oslo, in front of the King of Norway. Right in front of him. It's blatantly right out there in front of him. Let's look at your scores. What am I drinking? Michael wants to know. Michael, I want to give a toast to Off Disc and Overly K and Quarren Keith, our top 3. This is raspberry peach juice with seltzer. It's a non-alcoholic, but it's so tasty. It's inspiring me to go on to question number 7. Number 7, English physicist Michael Faraday is the namesake of what sort of enclosure that totally blocks electromagnetic fields? All of these have the name Faraday in them, as you can see, but one of them is what we call it. Once again, English physicist Michael Faraday has a crater named after him, and he also has named after him what sort of enclosure that totally blocks electromagnetic fields. It's a very useful item, not just useful in science lab scenarios, also very useful around your home. Believe it or not, you'll soon find out how this is true as we come down to the answer to question number 7. That answer is a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage is right. If you've ever looked at your microwave oven without frying your eyeballs, thank the Faraday cage that lines it. That's right, there's a small Faraday cage in your microwave. Let's go to the scores. After going into the last question, boom. Off disc, Overly and Thorstein. But you know what? I see this is, oh man, a lot of these scores are very, very close. Let's see what happens with the last question in round 2. Later crater, early vaccines for rabies and anthrax, and a whole treatise on booze fermentation were accomplishments of what Frenchman, who's better known for making your milk safe? That's right, early vaccines for rabies and anthrax and a whole treatise on booze fermentation were accomplishments of what Frenchman, who's better known for making your milk safe? I say Frenchman as if that's a Jewish last name, Frenchman. It's Frenchman. He's a Frenchman. Pick one of these 4. Entertaining stuff while you're waiting for the answer to question 8 in round 2. I hope you're drinking something too. We want you to join us here in a drink. The answer to question 8, early vaccines for rabies and anthrax, are thanks to Louis Pasteur. Pasteur. Now, an old-timey name for rabies was hydrophobia because the disease can cause an irrational fear of drinking water. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's look at your scores after 2 rounds, or almost halfway through the game. Let's look at those scores. Oh, well, that was fast. Well, I skipped over them pretty quickly. I think I already hit them. You saw them, right? You saw them. You don't need them. You guys know where you are. We're about ready for round 3. Round 3, the second of our theme rounds. This one is called Do Exotic. Do Exotic. Get it? It's a pun on the thing with the guy. We've all got bread on our minds these days, as you know. By the way, I found yeast while I was cleaning out the kitchen today, and I was like thrilled. We've all got bread on our minds. Let's look at baked goods from around the world. A little theme round. This is a multiple choice round. One more time. Let's go to question number 1 about baked goods from around the world. Pfannkuchen. Pfannkuchen gets tacked onto the longer name for a JFK-approved donut named for what world capital? Pfannkuchen. Pfannkuchen gets tacked onto the longer name for a JFK-approved donut named for what world capital? This, just like Emily Dickinson said, tell the truth, but tell it slant. We give you hints, but we hint them slant. So there's a hint in there as to your answer. Often there's also an answer there that is obviously not the right one. See if you can guess which one that is. All right? Coming down to the answer to question 1 on round 3. The world capital is, of course, Berlin. Berlin. Berliner Pfannkuchen are sometimes filled with the creamy Dutch alcohol Advocaat. Prost. He said, drinking something that's non-alcoholic, as we look at your scores. 649 for off disc. Overly K, you've got 602. Thorstein Nielsen, 564. Jane is hot on your trail with 560. And then Quarren Keith right behind you with 557. Anything can happen. Question number 2. Matzo. Matzah isn't the only commonly eaten unleavened bread. While naan is yeast leavened, what unleavened round flatbread, native to the Indian subcontinent, gets its name from the Sanskrit word for bread? Sometimes we have very robust questions. This one's very robust. Has a lot of parts in it. Let's try to disassemble it together. I'll do it as fast as I can so you can get your answer in as quick as we can. Matzah isn't the only commonly eaten unleavened bread. While naan is yeast leavened, what unleavened round flatbread, native to the Indian subcontinent, gets its name from the Sanskrit word for bread? Another way you can do a question like this is what we call a process of elimination. If there's something that you know is definitely not the answer, you can try it that way. Your answer to question number 2 is roti. Roti. Roti are also called chapati. Don't get it twisted. Don't really know what that means. It's a writer's joke. All right. Here come your scores. All right. Oh, I think there's been some movement there. Quarren Keith popped up into 3rd. Thorstein, 1 point out of 3rd. Jane's still holding strong. I see the bugs are still there. Mike Atley, Bumbershoot Mugwump, waiting for me to read question number 3. A sweet mandolin sparks the narrator's sense memory in Time Regained, the final part of a 7-volume tome by what author? Once again, a sweet mandolin sparks the narrator's sense memory in Time Regained, the final part of a 7-volume work by what author? Not sure tome is correct in this sense. A tome is usually a single book. I think we're talking about many books, so I would just say works. Should have edited that differently. I'm the editor. I should have done it. All right. All of these writers have done tomes, have created tomes. But which one created the tome as part of the 7-volume work that contains Time Regained? The answer is, of course, Marcel Proust. Marcel Proust. Note, X-Men Days of Future Past was not based on a work of Marcel Proust. Just so you know. Again, extra trivia just in case you get that in another question, just so you know. Let's look at your scores. There we go. All right. You know, Bumbershoot, Mike, Sarah, I think it's time for you guys to make your move. This is the one for you. Question number 4. Let Mexico and Nicaragua debate where it was invented and tell me straight up, tres leches cake is made with 3 types of what ingredient? Once again, let Mexico and Nicaragua debate where it was invented and tell me straight up, tres leches cake, tres leches, is made with 3 types of what ingredient? Is this a cake question or is it a language question? I think you know the answer to that. And if you know the answer to that question, I think you know the answer to this question. All right. This is just making me hungry. I didn't have any dinner yet. That's right, I put off dinner for you people because I love you and I'm eager to host for you. Tonight and tomorrow I'll be hosting. Once again, tres leches cake is made with 3 types of milk. That's right, the aforementioned milk we mentioned during the Pasteur question, evaporated milk, condensed milk, and heavy cream, a holy trinity of milk. Let's go to the scores. Stop. All right, off disc, Overly and Quarren Keith. Off disc, actually pulling away from the pack, but he can be caught. With question 5, perhaps? You just paid pula for deep-fried donuts called maguinha to carb load for a walk around Gaborone. Gaborone. Where are you? Where in the world? If you've done this thing, if you just paid pula for deep-fried donuts called maguinha to carb load for a walk around Gaborone. Where are you? One of these 4 places. I'm going to give you a big hint. Big hint. We would never use an answer in a previous question. Well, sometimes we do, but not this time. Do you remember one of these from a previous question? Maybe that'll help you. The answer is, of course, Botswana. Botswana. They really make it rain in Botswana since their currency comes from a word meaning rain. Make it rain, Botswana, make it rain. All right, here's your scores. All right. Like I said, there's a chance for people to make a move. Never know when there's going to be some movement. Let's look at number 6. Saoirse Ronan bakes stacked courtesans au chocolat of uncertain national origin in what 2010s movie? Saoirse, rhymes with inertia, Ronan, bakes stacked courtesans au chocolat. It's a stacked dessert of uncertain national origin in what 2010s movie? It seems like we always have a movie question. I think some people are happy for that because most people like and watch movies. Don't forget to let me tell you about my Not a Resolution, which is ongoing. Started on January 1st. I've been watching a movie every day. Every day watching at least one movie. My most recent movie was not Captain's Courageous, Captain Blood. It was two Captain movies. It doesn't matter. We'll talk about it later, as the answer to number 6 is the Grand Budapest Hotel. The Grand Budapest Hotel, basically a courtesans au chocolat, is a stacked choux pastry. BuzzFeed has an article that will walk you through the recipe should you wish to try that out. Let's look at your scores. All right. Even though not a lot of right answers, people keeping their place in the standings. As we go to question number 7. In 1931, Emperor Haile Selassie ditched Abyssinia as the name of what country, which boasts sourdough injera as their national dish? Once again, in 1931, Emperor Haile Selassie ditched Abyssinia as the name of what country, which boasts sourdough injera as their national dish? Maybe you've eaten at a restaurant where they have this. I'll bet you have. This is very popular. People eat this here in America, restaurants from this place. That's a solid clue because one of these, at least one of these countries, not typically known for having restaurants in the U.S. The answer to question number 7 is Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Eritrea, Djibouti, and Somalia also opt for injera as a national dish. Usually they put the food on the injera and you use the bread to eat the food. Let's just go to your scores. Nobody wants to hear about my eating habits. All right. Looking good, everybody, as we go to the last question in round 3, Dough Exotic. Love that. Rumor has it that Dundee cakes originated because what actually legit heir to King James V of Scotland didn't like glacé cherries in her cakes? Rumor has it, may or may not be true, but this is a solid rumor. We can source the rumor that Dundee cakes originated because what actually legit heir to King James V of Scotland didn't like glacé cherries in her cakes. Sometimes the strangest things will cause things to become things. You don't like cherries in your cakes? We'll make you one without it, and we'll call it something else. We'll call it a Dundee cake, and the Dundee cake is thanks to Mary Stewart. Mary Stewart. Dundee cakes are fruitcakes topped with concentric circles of almonds and no Dutch alcohol. Boo, says the guy not drinking alcohol. Let's look at your scores. There they are, right there. Ah, off disc, still in the lead. Overly K in second. Quarren Keith in third. Thorstein Nielsen in fourth place. Jane in fifth. We got the Bugs, Mike Atley, Bumbershoot Mugwump, Sarah Mackey, Folderall Shenanigan. We got a lot of strange names in this thing. I'm suspecting that it's some sort of computer-generated names. That's fine. Burke B, Ecdesius Mollycoddle. I'm glad Craig wasn't around to see Ecdesius. Sass 51. Game show. Craig is here to see Ecdesius. There he is. He's down, lurking. Let's go to round 4, our pick 3 round. You guys know how this works if you've played before. If you haven't played before, by the way, welcome. Welcome to our game. Hope you'll tell your friends about us and bring some more people tonight and tomorrow and all this week. We're here every single night. Let me explain how round 4 works. This is our pick 3 round. It's a little different. Instead of asking questions, we'll give you a category, and you must select the 3 items on the screen that fit that category. Now, you'll get full points for 3 correct answers, half points for 2 correct answers, and 0 points for 1 correct answer, because as long as you pick 3, you're definitely going to get 1 right, so we can't give any points for that. What 3 things belong in the following sets? Here comes number 1. Number 1 is Great Lakes. Great Lakes. Pick the 3 of these that are Great Lakes as I take a great drink. Yeah, Craig has bear. I don't have a bear. I have a dragon. How you doing? No, good. How you doing? Good to see you. This man is not a ventriloquist. He is not a ventriloquist in any way, shape, or form. Do you know the answer to this Great Lakes thing? Yes, I do. I have a friend who lives in one of these lakes that is not a Great Lake. Oh, cool. All right. Can't wait to see. Can't wait to see. What is the answer? Yeah, here we go. With the answer to Great Lakes, those 3 are Superior, Huron, and Lake Michigan. That's right. Now, which of the 2 that are not the right answer does your friend Lake Champlain? Champ, my friend Champ is the monster that lives in Lake Champlain. That's great. Thank you very much. Good night. Goodbye. All right. All right. Boom. The dragon did not seem to bother a lot of you people or throw you off your game. Not Pete's dragon, it's my dragon. Off disc, still in the lead. Overly K in second. Quarren Keith in third. We move on to question number 2. These are U.S. stock indexes. One for you economists. U.S. stock indexes. That's right. Pick the 3. Summerfest in Milwaukee. 2 friends on the same day, both born in Wisconsin, asked me, what lake is that over there anyway? I wonder what lake are you talking about, Jane? Anyway. Oh, they were born in Milwaukee. See, okay. They should have known that one. Yes. All right. Coming down to the answer to U.S. stock indexes. Economy, one of my weak subjects, but I happen to know the answer to this one. The 3 answers are the NASDAQ Composite, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the S&P 500 Index. Those are the 3. Nikkei is a stock market index for the Tokyo Stock Exchange, by the way. Let's go to your scores. Boom. Talking about numbers. 976, 879, 878, only 1 point between second and third. What's it going to be after question number 3? Playing card suits. Playing card suits seems pretty simple. Let's see if you can know it. Let's see if you do. I've been keeping an eye for typos and text entry mistakes tonight. We seem to be clean so far. Fingers crossed. Don't want to jinx anything. But it's part of my job to keep an eye on that. We're about ready to be out of beta, I think, and ready to, I want to thank you guys for helping us and bearing with us, for your patience as we work this thing out. Mm. Also, thank you for, we want to someday do this in the studio, have sound effects, have music. I tried to have some music, something was wrong with my computer. I don't know what the problem was. The answer to question number 3, playing card suits, is hearts, spades, and diamonds. Yeah, hearts, spades, and diamonds. Clubs are the 4th suit in a traditional 52 card deck. Of course, stars you can find in Lucky Charms, and queens is a borough of New York, of course. Your scores. Let's see, did anybody get that wrong? No, nobody get that wrong. Why would anybody get that wrong? It's a very easy question. Let's go to number 4. We got a theme. We got an unintended theme tonight. The unintended theme is milk. Question number 4 is alternative milk brands. Alternative milk brands. 3 of these are. One of them is not. Pick. One of these is in my fridge right now, thanks to my lactose intolerant wife. Craig has a bear. I have a dragon. Maybe I'll bring that dragon out again tomorrow night. Who knows? If I maybe get a little weird. We'll get a little weird tomorrow. All right. The answer? I'll answer your question in a second. I'll give you the answer to question number 4, which is silk, almond breeze, and Oatly. That's the second time I've had to say the word almond, or almond. Almond, it's almond. Almond, as some people say. Silk, almond breeze, and Oatly. Soylent is a meal alternative, sort of like Silicon Valley's version of Slim Fast. I've tried it sometimes. I think it can be green sometimes. They have a green version of it. Here's your scores. All right, Off Disc has broken the 1,000 point mark. Good to see. Overly K primed to do so as well. Let's see, Quarren Keith, if you can keep your 3rd place as we move on to question number 5, literature. Number 5 is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory characters. Characters in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's right. It's people. Soylent Green is people. That's a movie I should add to my not a resolution list. I have not seen the movie Soylent Green. I know it. We all know it. It's part of pop culture. But I've been trying to fill in gaps in my knowledge. And also watch movies I haven't seen in a long, long time. Like I watched The Andromeda Strain the other day. I hadn't seen that since it was the 4:30 movie here in New York City. They used to have at 4:30 every day on ABC. It would be a good movie. And that's where I saw a lot of movies. Probably movies I shouldn't probably even have watched because I was too young to see them. The answer to question number 5, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory characters are Veruca Salt, Augustus Gloop, and Violet Beauregard. Now, you may notice the name Herpes Trout was on that list. Herpes Trout was the original, less family-friendly name of Mike TV, but that was not in the book. Let's look at your scores. All right, Off Disc, keeping the lead. Again, he can be caught. It's not too late. Quarren Keith and Overly K. Number 6, ballet movements. Ballet moves. 3 of them are, 2 of them are not. Pick the 3 that are if you can, or at least 2, or at least 1 for practice, because you can't get points for just 1. All right. Mike finally saw Soylent Green in February. Wow. Cool. I remember the movie I saw last night, by the way. It was a 1950 Western starring Jimmy Stewart called Winchester 73. One of the 1001 movies you should see before you die, according to the guy who makes that list. Mike Schneider? Mike Schneider, I think his name is. Yeah, so I ticked that off my list. Good movie. Winchester 73. Especially if you like Westerns. One of the newer Westerns with, multiple level characters. Okay. Answer to number 6 is ballet movements plie, pirouette, and arabesque. Plie, pirouette, arabesque. The pirouette, which refers to a turn in place on one leg, means to whirl about. To whirl about in French. I have pirouetted. I have plied. I have arabesque. I took ballet in college. Why would I take ballet in college? Because I was a theater major. That's right. Become a theater major, kids, and end up doing this. All right, off disc, still in the lead. Overly K still hot on his trail. Quarren Keith in third place. Thorstein in fourth. We got the top three have broken the 1,000 mark as we move on to question number 7 in the pick 3 round. Kinds of daisies. Kinds of daisies. Pick the 3. There you go. Oh, I see my name there on the list there. Yeah, I see somebody's talking about a dragon there. Are you going to give them a hint about that? No, I am not. Not going to give them a hint. Not a single hint. No. All right. You can watch it with me, though. Are you going to watch? You going to watch the timer? You going to watch the timer time down as we get ready? Yes, I am. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a thrill a minute. All right. Yes. Which of these are kinds of daisies? Kinds of daisies. Thank you. That's much better. Thank you. All right. The answer to question 7. Black-eyed Susan, Gerbera daisy, and Shasta daisy. That's right. Snapdragon not on the list. Gerbera daisies are native to South Africa. Thank you very much. You're welcome. All right. That brings us down to the scores before the last question. Here we go. Boom. Oh boy, we got 4 people break 1,000. Congratulations, Thorstein. Finally up to 1,003. Jane, you're almost there. I know you're going to do it. Here we go with the last question in round 4, the pick 3 round. People who have run for president. Now, lots of people have run for president, but which 3 of these 5 have run for president of the United States? All right. Yeah, anytime there's a dragon appears in the questions, I think the dragon's bound to come out. So, and it taxes my voice. So let's hope it doesn't happen too much. All right. Once again, people who have run for president, pick the 3 that fit this category. It's your last shot to earn points in round 4, but not your last chance to earn points overall. There's one more question after this question. A lot of points available in there. Get ready for it. The answer to question number 8 in round 4 is Michael Bloomberg, Mitt Romney, and Shirley Chisholm. Those 3 right there. Chisholm was the first black major party presidential candidate. She was also the first black congresswoman. Good on her. All right. They recently named a park in her honor here in Brooklyn. All right. There are your answers. Let's look at your scores. Going into the last question, your last chance to earn points, off disc, top of the heap, 1,193. Overly K, 1,095. Quarren Keith, 1,091. A lot of over the thousands here. Jane, still in the game with 1,028. Thorstein, Nielsen, 1020. The Bugs, 860. Mike Atley, Bumbershoot Mugwump. Sarah, Burke, Falderall, Ecdesius, Wabbit, Sass, 51. Let's go to the last question. One question. It's called our Answer Fest question, as you can see right there. Now, this is the final question of the night. It consists of 5 clues that get progressively easier. All 5 clues point to the same answer. The faster you answer it, the more points you get. But guess carefully, once you have typed in and submitted an answer, you're locked into whatever points are left on the timer. If your answer is correct, you will receive those points. If your answer is incorrect, you receive no points. It's only fair, right? Once again, you're going to type in your answer. Spelling counts. It is a, what do we call it again? Case insensitive. Don't worry about capitalization. No, case is not case sensitive, but spelling is important as we go on to the first hint in the Answer Fest question. Here we go. Hint number 1. I have a doctorate in quantum chemistry and worked as a research scientist until 1989. I speak fluent Russian. My father Germanized my family's Polish name to Kazner. Who am I? You can hide the hint, of course, and put your answer in now if you want. You don't have to answer now. You can wait for the slightly easier clue number 2. Once again, I have a doctorate in quantum chemistry and work as a research scientist. Until 1989, I speak fluent Russian. My father Germanized my family's Polish name to Kazner. Who am I? This is a who am I question. Oop. Let's see if I can not inadvertently give away the answer too soon this time. Got to be very careful as I move on to hint number 2. Clue number 2. I was born in Hamburg, where my father studied Lutheran theology. My father's job took us to Perlberg in East Germany. Growing up, I was a member of the Communist Free German Youth Movement. Who am I? I think you might see a theme building in these clues. That would be a very big hint. Once again, I was born in Hamburg, where my father studied Lutheran theology. My father's job took us to Perlberg in East Germany. Growing up, I was a member of the Communist Free German Youth Movement. Who am I? It's about time for hint number 3. I was the only woman occupying a position in the East German Academy of Sciences Theoretical Chemistry section. I am afraid of dogs. Just a little extra info there you might know something about. Who am I? I was the only woman occupying a position in the East German Academy of Sciences Theoretical Chemistry section. I am afraid of dogs. Who am I? Usually when we ask for a person's name, last name only is fine. That should work for you here. Fingers crossed. All right? Hide that third hint and maybe type in your answer. What do you think? Let's move on to hint number 4. After the Berlin Wall fell, I joined the New Democratic Awakening Party. I was a protege of Helmut Kohl. Once again, after the Berlin Wall fell, I joined the New Democratic Awakening Party. I was a protege of Helmut Kohl. Who am I? Still a lot of time to get your answer in, though the faster you answer, the more points you get. Who am I? Going to give a little time for the timer to time down, to tick down. Going to drink my drink. Happy hour, everybody. This is why we do this. We want you to enjoy the happy hour that you would have enjoyed if we were able to leave the house. All right, here is the final clue to the answer fast question. Final clue, Kate McKinnon has parodied me on Saturday Night Live. Vladimir Putin once left me alone in a room with his large dog. What an Arschloch! I have been Germany's chancellor for almost 15 years. Who am I? Once again, Kate McKinnon has parodied me on Saturday Night Live. Vladimir Putin once left me alone in a room with his large dog. What an Arschloch! I have been Germany's chancellor for almost 15 years. Who am I? Type in your answer. Click submit as we come down. We tick down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for the answer to the answer fast question. That answer is, of course, Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel. Now, anyone who would leave a person afraid of dogs alone in a room with a dog is an Arschloch. You can look that up too. There she is, Angela Merkel, the leader of the free world. That's her. All right, here we go with your final scores. Let's see who won the game. Overly K takes it. Oh my God, a last second jump. Overly K with 1,237 off disc, almost, just no, barely edged out by 5 points, 1,232. And Quarren Keith with your clever screen name, 1,200 points. Jane Thorstein, nice work, over 1,000. Bumbershoot, The Bugs, Mike Atley. Let's take a look at your pretty punum with your crown on it. Let's look at it. Here we go. There we go. Nicely done, Overly. Off disc, you're looking good too. Quarren Keith, get yourself a screen, an avatar, so we can see what you look like. We want to see you. That's it for me tonight, guys. Wow, almost exactly 9 o'clock. Perfect timing. 1 hour of trivia. Please join us again tomorrow night. Join me tomorrow night here in the great big bedroom on the great big blue bed for 33 more questions of trivia. Bring your friends, tell your relatives, tell strangers, but do it from far away. Do it over the phone, on the computer. Tell them to come join us for Triviamatic Happy Hour tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm John Chinesky. You've been awesome. That's me. Good night, guys. Wash your hands.